She should be saying, no more hard-working taxpayers funding the family next door not to work. No more free top-of-the-range cars for people who don't need them. No.
Which isn't happening.
Yeah, I'm gonna fucking go on for a rant here because I'm so angry. I'm so angry at the demonization of Motability recipients that's been happening all over the fucking social media. And it is like the Tufton slugs, it's people like Tom Harwood, Tempers, whatever the fuck his name is, they've all been going on and trying to claim the people who just have ADHD are just getting free beamers. And this is fundamentally untrue for loads of different reasons. First of all, even if you are somebody who qualifies for Motability and you're getting a BMW, you're paying like probably close to a 5-figure down payment on being able to have access to one of these cars, which again, Motability have access to because they have this partnership with BMW, okay? Second of all, they don't get the car for free. They get the running costs for free, and it's a lease for 3 years. And then it gets changed after then, you know? Third of all, people keep going on about how, well, Motability is like 20% of new car sales in this country, which is up from 10% 5 years ago. And this percentage increase is very interesting to use this as a metric, and it's only gone up, really. It's gone up slightly in nominal terms, but the only reason why it's a bigger percentage is because new car sales have massively fallen off a cliff because of a cost of living crisis. We can't afford to buy new cars, you know? The only reason we have second-hand cars available for purchase is because they're ex-Motability cars that have gone into general sale as second-hand, which wouldn't have gone into the system because no one would have been able to buy them as new in the fucking first place. And on top of that, they say it's free. It's not free. You have to pay for your mobility allowance out of your PIP to be able to spend that on the Motability monthly payments anyway, so you're reducing your other outgoings elsewhere to have this as your mobility aid out of your current payments in terms of welfare. And then on top of that, the idea that ADHD sufferers are the ones who are just getting it qualify for ADHD, you actually have to qualify for the mobility portion of your PIP to be able to even claim Motability in the first place. So you at least have to have more than just ADHD to be in this position in the first place. And on top of that, a number of people who have ADHD as one of their conditions, among others, which are the ones probably the ones qualifying them for the mobility payment, the ones of those, they keep saying, oh, it's increased 1,400% or whatever since 2016. I'm just like, it's still less than 5% of the overall people claiming for fucking Motability. So they're just throwing out scare numbers and scare quotes and things to trigger people, essentially to demonize people who have a lack of mobility being helped by a fucking charity that has, through the goodness out of their hearts, tried to make sure that people who have mobility issues can be able to get around by having adaptations on vehicles and putting through all the work to get that done. And all they've just done is done this politics of envy shit where they go, oh, well, I don't get access to this vehicle. Oh, I can't believe there's brand new Beamers for people. And it is the worst kind of demonization and vilification, entirely done through misinformation by disingenuous hack fucks who only want to do it to generate outrage and clicks to try and, again, piggyback their own virality by picking on people who are worse off than them, just because they're getting something to help them at least get some level of parity with the rest of the country in terms of helping them out with the problems they have that everybody else doesn't. These people sicken me. They absolutely sicken me. Like, especially people like Tom Harwood, you know, like talking about all of these people, the people out of work or whatever. I'm working really hard paying taxes. Motherfucker, you don't work hard. You do a piece to camera for 3 hours a week, talking into microphones, sitting on your fucking ass, and the rest of your day tweeting. And you know what? People say, oh, it's just an honest day's work that he's doing. And I'm like, I can fucking tell him this. I can fucking impugn him for not having a real job, for sitting on his ass speaking into a microphone for 3 hours a day. Because I have a job where I sit on my ass speaking into a microphone for 3 hours a day and the rest of the day tweeting.
Yeah, also, you can't argue that he does an honest day's work when he's literally going on about Beamers for autists. He's a liar. He's literally a propagandist. He's a liar.
Literally a propagandist. And they're just tweeting out just like random TikToks of someone joking about getting a free car on Motability, acting as if it is somehow either A, true, or B, representative of the actual function of the Motability scheme. So, well, this TikTok I've seen, this is all the evidence I need to know that there's a Motability mafia. That's what they're calling them, by the way. They're calling them the Motability mafia.
Unbelievable. This is the British version of the Obama phone, if you remember that from back in the day. It's the same basic fucking principle. It's appealing to that, like you say, crabs in the bucket, pathetic attitude, really, really small-minded attitude of, I don't want anyone to get anything good at all. It's not, why can't I afford to get a BMW? I work really hard. Why the fuck can't I do that? It's, I can't have it, so you can't fucking have it. I don't care about any other fucking policy beside that. It's fucking embarrassing. It's the reason that this country can't have nice things, because ultimately, because of people like this fucking Harridan, we don't deserve good things.
Yeah,
exactly. And again, it's explicitly the politics of envy. You know,
Yeah.
In our political sphere, we only ever hear about it when you talk about wealth redistribution from the richest to the poorest, right? Oh, you hate success. No. I hate inequality is what I hate. It's a matter of utility, an effective utility, that this £100 or whatever is worth much more to a poor person than a rich person, because it is more percentage of what they actually have, and it would improve their own life to a much greater degree in terms of marginal utility, right? That's the argument. But the argument that they're making, which is that they get a BMW for free, even though it's not free, but I don't. That's just politics of envy. That's literally what that is. No one ever describes it as such.
And we must be borne in mind, this is class war. This is class war. This is the upper class fighting against anyone vaguely poorer than them.
I think it's a real big shame that people forget that, one, disabled people deserve to have like a modern day quality of life. Like, just because you're disabled doesn't mean that you should never be able to have a BMW. Plus, people have to remember that like something could happen to you at any point. You know, you could have a serious injury, especially if you're working. You know, some people work in very dangerous environments, and it could always happen to you. And people forget that. And if something did ever happen to you,
Christopher Reed, fucking Superman, ended up in a wheelchair.
And if something did happen to you, then, you know, you shouldn't be subjected to a worse quality life going forward because something's happened. I think that's what people need to think about when they think about what their taxes is paying for, especially when it comes to like benefits, because you'll never take out of the system what you pay in. The state may as well get that money from somewhere else, because you can't get a pound for pound trade-off with how much people are paying in and how much they deserve to get out of it. But some people believe 100% that that's the type of system we should have. But it's just madness.
Which is why Lewis Hamilton should pay his fucking taxes in Britain. If he'd just gone down a normal path, would not have paid in as much as he'd taken out. And now he's in the ability to be able to do so. He's gone, now fuck you bitches, I'm off to Monaco.
Exactly. What a fucking prick. He can take the plus 44 off his bloody helmet, can't he? And the thing as well, you made a really good point there, Phil. Like, what it reminds me of is this moment where Ian Dale was rallying against the idea that we shouldn't be closing the ticket offices in our railway stations. It's like, well, I can book it on my phone, just get with the times. And then immediately, as soon as this campaign started, he was on crutches for some reason, because I think he'd had some kind of issue by break his leg or whatever. And then as soon as he actually became in somewhat impaired in his own mobility himself, suddenly he was like, well, I actually probably do need these people in the stations to be able to do it, because basically every single Conservative is blinkered so closely to the point where they can only ever see something unless it's from their perspective. It's pure selfishness, pure self-absorption, and the inability to be able to have any sort of human empathy. If it doesn't affect me, it doesn't affect anybody. And as soon as it affects them, suddenly they see the light. That's conservatism writ large. I just want to add one more thing to my Motability rant, you know? So for people on my stream, you'll be able to see this, but I'm just going to describe it for Kev and Phil. Oh, you're probably in my chat still, Phil, as well. But what to cap off just how much of an absolute stone cold wanker Tom Harwood is, his suggestion for the fact that free cars have been given out by the government, which literally is not true. It's not free cars. These are just leases that get paid through with the mobility part of person independence payment. He suggests that everybody who gets it should be in a Fiat multiplier with Motability written in big letters on the side, because of course we should just be making everybody who is recipient of welfare from the state, especially those who are from a minority such as the disabled, just fucking label them, make them drive around. Why not put a badge on them, you know? Why not just stick a fucking triangle on them?
No, what you need is you give them a bell, and they have to walk around the town going, unclean, unclean, so we know we don't have to get near them, just in case, you know?
I think under the Equality Act as well, like you pretty much have a right to have that anonymity, like being anonymous, basically, with your disability, like not having to disclose it in all situations. And I think the thing is with cars like this as well, like a lot of modern cars have gotten better with adjustments for disabled people. Because a lot of the really old cars, because like we used to have disability mobility cars, some of the older ones not very practical to put wheelchairs in, not very practical to get things set up in. And over time, they've gotten so much better. We have cars with ramps and all types of stuff now. Like,
Yeah, but the thing
people need modern stuff.
The thing you're missing here is that Tom Harwood is scum and doesn't care about the practicalities of this. He just wants to punish people so that even those who we do help, their life is made absolutely unbearable to the point of either just giving up and committing suicide or like dying because of the stress.
Exactly. I will point out to Tom Harwood that, first of all, they can't brand all these cars with word Motability on the side, because like, after 3 years they're going to get sold as second-hand cars to people who aren't using Motability, because this is basically one of the only ways that new cars ever enter the market in the UK. And second of all, I reckon there are plenty of new neurodivergent people who he claims are getting it for free with just ADHD, which just isn't fucking true. I think they would actually love a green Fiat Multipla frog vehicle, you know? I think if any community in this country would be happy driving a green Fiat Multipla, it's probably the neurodivergent.
Also, why is he choosing a Fiat and not like a British-made car? What kind of patriotism
very
is that?
good point. Very good point. You
Tom
know,
Harwood
isn't even keeping our welfare payments going to British companies. You know what a globalist.
Exactly. What, you cucked out to the Italians now, are you? God, you made me sick.
Hey there, if you enjoyed the video, make sure that you like and leave a comment. That helps the video out in the algorithm. If you subscribe and ring the bell, it'll let you know when I go live. I stream every day on YouTube and Twitch. You can also follow all of my socials down in the description. And if you want to support me in a more financial manner, there's a join button for memberships. It's just 99p to be a member on YouTube, as well as a Patreon, and there's some merch there as well. And hopefully I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.